Hi everyone, I'm Cherie Ray, founder of CoLab Strategy and an ally of the TechDiversity Foundation. This year we're celebrating the 10th anniversary of the TechDiversity Awards. As part of those celebrations, we're inviting past winners to check in with the TechDiversity Foundation to look back at their win and what it meant to them, and also to look to the future. So today I am thrilled to be checking in with Kerry Kellenbach, who is the Head of People and Culture at Mantle Group. In 2024, Mantle Group was one of the incredible TechDiversity winners, picking up an award in the business category. Mantle Group have since carved out a very special place for themselves within the TechDiversity alumni, and this year they're gold sponsors of the awards. So Kerry, welcome and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Cherie. Love to meet you.
Likewise. I don't think there's a better place for us to start than simply by you telling us a little bit more about Mantle Group's 2024 nomination and what inspired it.
Great question and place to start. So, I guess, let me take you back to the beginning, I guess, around the program and why we decided to do it. Originally, the program, our traineeship program, was formed by listening to many of our clients who were sharing similar views and opinions to the ones we had on the gender disparity in tech. So back in 2019, and we'd only been formed as a company for less than a year at this stage as well, we really wanted to ensure that we not only provided really fantastic tech consulting services to our clients, but we also gave back to the community. And we identified an opportunity to create a program that was a pathway for both women and gender minorities to kickstart their career in tech. And we thought this program was one small way that we could give back to the community, but also help with the gender disparity that we're seeing in the technology industry. So the traineeship program itself, it's set over 12 weeks and it's a full-time paid program. So participants are paid for the entire time that they're learning and they're growing over the program. And it supports women and gender minorities return or transition to a career in tech. I guess our aim was really to address that enormous gender gap that we see in tech. I think currently women only make up 29% of the tech workforce in Australia. And given those numbers, it would actually take 66 years to achieve gender parity, which is just outrageous given the positive social and economic impacts that women and gender minorities bring to the workforce. So the traineeship was really an opportunity for us to help bridge that gap.
That's amazing, and astounding statistics there as well. So I think that creating a pathway back in for those gender and other minority groups, incredible work by Mantle. Often what we see is, as time passes, what we start out doing changes a little bit. So I'm keen to understand, if or how the initiative has evolved over time.
It definitely has, right? Like when I think back to our first iteration of the program, I'm like, oh my gosh, how did we manage to get through that, right? And still have these amazing people at the end of it. But it was, and I think it's part of our principles as well around make things better is always having a look at what we're doing and is there a better way that we could be doing things as well. So we originally started with the program being 8 weeks. And we had to take a hiatus due to COVID, unfortunately. But we recognised the impact of the program and that we were on the right pathway to doing it. So what we did in late 2020 was actually just take a moment to pause and do a bit of a retro on the program. And we restructured it to become a 12-week program. We ensured that we provided a practical element, so gave them a real project with deliverables to work on. We also removed any barriers to program entry, such as there were no prerequisites of any tech certificates or study. And we also ensured that we provided one-on-one mentors throughout the program. So they were some of the additions that we made in 2020. And that was off the back of us going, how do we ensure that we're getting the right the right outcome for our participants? Is that we're setting them up for success, right? That it's not just a tick box, that they actually can walk out with practical skills that would enable them to stay in the workforce or stay with us, hopefully, but also giving them the right mentorship as well was really important. One that we found is there tended to be a real lack of confidence with people coming into the program. And that was actually probably the biggest barrier, to be honest. It was quite fascinating to watch these people come from successful backgrounds as teachers or doctors or bankers, or successfully run households for many years, and then come into the program and all that confidence in themselves was gone. We recognized that we had to really help build their confidence back up, that they could do it, and we believed in them. And so that one-on-one mentorship really was a big change and a positive change as well. Interestingly, Cherie, it actually probably had just as big of an impact on our people as well. People loved being mentors to our trainees, and we actually have no shortage of people wanting to do it. And what you've got to remember is they're being mentors as well as working full-time as well on clients, but that wasn't an issue. People genuinely had such an impact from being a mentor that it felt a little bit selfish that they felt they were getting more out of it than our participants were. So they were some of the biggest changes we made in the program once we'd established it for a couple of years. And more recently, what we've done is the program is still going, and it's been a pretty rocky time in business over the past 12, 18 months, particularly in tech, but we still keep the program running because we know the importance of it. But we've expanded it out into other areas of technology. So it's not just our digital areas or our cloud areas that do it. We now also expanded it out to our cybersecurity areas as well, which is great to see.
That's amazing. What an evolution indeed, and a really thoughtful one, I think, with in installing those mentors. It sounds like a couple of things, that you've got that really intensive wraparound support for people to boost their confidence and get them industry ready. So that's going to lead to better outcomes, most definitely.
Yeah.
But the other thing that you said that I thought was really interesting was the part around the mentors themselves. Feeling like they might be getting more out of it than the mentees, kind of thing. Can you tell me a little bit more about, if you know, what those mentors were getting out of that experience, how it changed them?
Yeah, really good question. I think for a lot of the mentors, it was being able to give back. And I think sometimes when you're working full time, it can be really difficult to find time to find meaning in your work, right? But we know that being able to do meaningful work has a really big impact on people's engagement in the workplace. And so the opportunity to mentor and have real time visible impact that you could see and observe, think that's where the magic sort of happened around having a difference to that person, because we're over that 12 weeks, they were watching someone come in who'd never coded before, or never understood even some of the basic terminology, to at the end standing in front of people and delivering a project, and as we would to a client, and being able to talk about the work they did and show the back end and show the code and show the PR requests they did. There was something really powerful about saying, I had a contribution to that, and so I think seeing the observable changes was where people really felt the difference. And I think that's one of the great things about being a mentor, right, is often we can volunteer our time or we can make financial donations, and it gives us a really nice endorphin kick. We feel good. But when you mentor, what you get the lovely opportunity to do is watch that growth and that development evolve over time. And you see the impact that it has on that person as well, be it their own confidence, be it their own well-being, or even in some of our cases, have a tangible impact on someone's financial or personal circumstances, where they could return to the workplace and start earning an income. And I reflect on one particular trainee we had, who was actually a refugee. And so came to Australia with no technical skills, but was having incredible difficulty finding work. There's an incredible amount of barriers to refugees in Australia in finding work. And so they came through our trainee program. They couldn't even afford a laptop, I might add, Cherie. So,
Wow.
to be able to come into the program, they received a laptop, and then were able to train the skills, and they got offered a permanent job with us to stay on after the program. The difference that it had to that person in their own self-esteem, their confidence, their personal situation, that they could then afford to rent their own house to their children. They're the real things that, and you get kind of a little bit emotional when you talk about things like that, because we've made an impact to someone's life in a way that, you don't think is possible when you run initiatives like this.
Yeah, that is incredible. Really clear changes there. And if we zoom out even more beyond the mentors and the mentees, did you notice if there were any outcomes or impacts for the broader organization or for the industry as a whole?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think I think it's a really much loved program at Mantle Group, and the general feedback is that people are really proud to have the program, but be part of a company that is genuinely trying to make a
Mm.
difference. I think within Mantle Group, what I would say is, we were able to offer so far 81 women an opportunity to commence a career in tech, which is fantastic. Again, from our perspective, we would have a 19% of our workforce would identify as women, but with this program, that has jumped up to 28%.
Wow.
So it makes a really big difference. And I think, just the opportunities, as I said, to be able to provide return to work opportunities for refugees and women returning after children with flexible working arrangements, because we were able to provide that through the program. We wanted to remove those barriers. That was a really big one. The program itself has also opened up other opportunities for us to have discussions, such as we partner with a high school in Melbourne called Marion College. They knew about our traineeship program. And they're a Catholic girls' school in the western suburbs that run this amazing STEM program for girls to identify an opportunity in STEM as a career post high school. And we run workshops with them and a mentoring program with them through them hearing about the traineeship as well. And also just being able to talk to other people in the industry and provide them some insight into how the program is run. And I always say to people, it doesn't have to be big. You just have to start, right? Because from the smallest things, big impacts can happen. And so I think being able to have great discussions with other companies or education institutions is really been another great benefit of the program.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing philosophy, Kerry, just around starting, not to sort of get paralyzed by making things way too big. We've zoomed out, so let's do the opposite now. Let's zoom in. What did winning the Tech Diversity Award mean for you personally, and or to your team?
Yeah, I think winning the Tech Diversity Award, we genuinely did not expect to win. We honestly didn't. And it was only through a lot of encouragement from Susie that we decided to put it in, because, chatting with her about, diversity in tech and opportunities there, that she said, listen, you've got a great program. You should think about it. People should know about it. So it meant a huge deal for us to win it. And we were a little bit probably underprepared because we weren't expecting to win it. It was incredibly humbling to be recognised, but I think more importantly, it was affirmation for our team that even the smallest of initiatives can make a really big impact, and that we can all individually make a difference. But probably the most important thing is it's what the program means to those who are involved, such as, it gives them opportunity, it gives them hope, it gives them a second chance, and that's what makes a difference in people's lives and their well-being. So I think that's what it means to us, is knowing we've made a difference and we can make a difference is really important. And again, meaningful work, be it directly or indirectly, we know has an impact on engagement and a culture as well. So I think it's also given us an opportunity to reflect on the hard work and dedication of everyone who is involved in the program. It is an absolute team effort. We have at least 15 people involved in every program, be it through mentoring, running workshops, running training sessions, providing hands-on, tech skills, being in the office to ensure that we can support them through the projects. It makes and our leaders are incredible at providing their time as well. So I think recognizing all of those people as well and inspiring us to continue doing it, right? Even when things are hard or, business isn't tracking as it should, reminding ourselves of the biggest picture and pushing for greater inclusivity in tech, such as broadening our initiatives and support, is what the program and the award has done. Going, cool, we can do this, but what else can we do? Because if we can make this program really great and it's recognized externally as being great, we've got the opportunity to do other great things in the inclusivity space too.
Kerry, you've created there a brilliant segue to the final question, which is really about that sort of future lens. So, what is next for Mantle Group's DEI journey, and are there any initiatives sort of on the horizon?
Yeah, we want to continue doing what we know we do well. So I think continuing the traineeship program and supporting that in a great way. We are also had a focus in the last 12 months around neurodiversity and looking at what we can do in that space as well. So creating spaces for people who identify as neurodivergent. We've got a really active and wonderful Slack channel that people can join, and it's really wonderful to see the conversations that happen in there, the resources that are shared, the support as well. And we've also had, expert speakers come and talk to us about what does it mean to be a neurodiverse inclusive workspace. So what are some of the practices that we should be doing or thinking about when we work with colleagues or our clients? And so that's been fantastic. That was run by Samantha Nuttall, and it really gave some food for thought. And also remembering within the neurodiverse spaces, how do we care for our team members who might have children or family members who identify as neurodivergent? And so thinking about the support and the flexibility that we can extend to them as well. So that's been a really big space. And then the other focus we'll have for the year ahead is on refugees. So we'll be looking at how we can extend and start supporting refugees with career mentoring as well. So, yeah.
That's two very worthy expansions. I imagine both the refugee and the neurodivergent group. The latter being an area that, of course, CoLab is really interested in as well. So we'll be tracking to see what you're doing there. Kerry, again, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for sharing your story and your insights there. Just a reminder to everyone that the TechDiversity Awards take place at the Sofitel on Collins on the 14th of August at 6:30 till 10:30. It's an extra special year this year, celebrating the 10th anniversary, and the theme for this year's awards is Framing DEI Futures. So it's about every contribution being a deliberate piece in the larger vision of a more equitable future. Now, we've had over 100 DEI initiatives submitted, and they've been reviewed by more than 40 judges. And I believe that tickets are selling pretty fast, but there are just a few left. So bring your team, bring yourself, and meet some new people. I'll certainly be there, and I will meet you there. Thanks again, Kerry. Amazing.
Thank you, Cherie. Lovely to meet you.